Hello everyone and welcome to video 11 of the question and answer series. So this question today is actually about temperature, which is amazing when the temperature is just dropping in the UK all the time and it's getting quite chilly. I'm sat here sort of keeping my hands warm at the moment. So the question is, does the temperature of a room, performance, rehearsal space make a difference in your playing? If so, what's the ideal temperature for you, being me, and what's the ideal temperature for everyone? Just to clarify, I'm not really much different to everyone. It's not like I'm like a little penguin or a lion requiring different temperatures. Should be about the same as you guys. But anyway, we'll just talk about this a little bit, or I'll talk about this. So in a nutshell, yes, the temperature of the space you are playing, performing, whatever in does make quite a big actually difference to your playing in, I think, two ways, because it can affect your instrument and it can affect you personally. Now, aside from the very sort of extreme temperatures of it being really, really cold, it can sort of affect your mood. If it's cold, you probably don't really want to play. Likewise, if it's too hot, it can get to the point where you're feeling ridiculously hot and it's getting ridiculous to play. I've been in some really stuffy rehearsal rooms before and it's not pleasant. It just makes you just not want to be there. It makes you want to go home or stand outside and flap your arms around until you feel like a normal person again. So yeah, with the tuning of the instruments, obviously that depends really on what instruments you play. Things like woodwind instruments and brass, you sort of have to alter your intonation as you're playing, because even though you tune before you start playing, every note from there has its own tuning. And it varies instrument to instrument. Like literally, I could play my better alto saxophone and then go to my not so good one, and the tuning on the both of them will be completely different. You have to sort of learn your instrument and adjust your tuning. So especially when you get into the higher register of the instrument where it starts going high, you'll want to alter it. A lot of people end up playing quite sharp. Some people actually play quite flat. Depends on who you are. You have to sort of bring that to the level. It's easier to do it when other people are playing because you can sort of adjust to each other's pitch. But it's just something else you've got to be mindful of when playing outside. And trust me, I've played a saxophone outside quite a lot of times for various different reasons. So there's that to think about. Again, with stringed instruments, they can detune, especially that's why you're not supposed to leave them like near radiators and hot things as well as cold things, because they'll go out of tune either way. And yeah, your fingers can go a bit. My fingers get really cold really quickly. I always have really cold fingers, which becomes a struggle for me playing the piano even in a normal temperature room. So there's a lot of factors on this to think about. I've personally practiced in cold practice rooms where the heating's not worked. Chapels, churches, minsters, religious buildings that don't have a lot of heating in there. And when you're practicing in a space before the audience comes in, it's obviously quite cold because there's only sort of a small percentage of people that will actually be there in the performance itself. Then it heats up and then it's okay. And I've played outside, as I've already mentioned. I've played in street bands and busked around Christmas time, so naturally that's cold. I learnt how to play saxophone in the gloves, just to actually feel my fingertips. So in general, yes, I've adapted to those weather conditions quite well, but generally speaking, when I'm home and I'm practicing the piano, I quite like the room to be around 19 to 21 degrees. It's just a comfortable temperature for me, so and that's degrees Celsius as well, not Fahrenheit. But yeah, that's probably the best advice I can give on that question. Hope that helps. Cheers, bye.